there everyone, and a warm welcome to Found Laws.
I'm Lauren, and I'm genuinely thrilled you're here. You know, life's full of amazing, funny, and sometimes just plain wild stories, and my favorite thing to do is uncover them for you. So get comfy, let's take a little journey together and dive into some truly captivating real-life experiences. Ever had one of those days where you just wanted to run an errand, say grab some groceries, and suddenly found yourself playing an unexpected customer service role? Incredulous. It's absurd, right? Our next story, from you/potentialcomb5329, perfectly captures that delightful kind of chaos. I used to work for NCR, and Walmart is one of their biggest customers. So I spent a lot of time in there fixing registers, self-checkouts, back-office IT equipment. I immediately learned to stop wearing my company's blue shirt with khaki pants. Sish, didn't matter though. People would see my lanyard or even see the NCR logo on the left breast of my shirt and still think I worked for Walmart. My favorite experience is when I had to change out something in the network office in the back. It was the end of the day, and when I was done with that ticket, my day was over. As I was walking through the store to leave, I saw Kristen, a friend of mine from a previous job. As we stood there catching up, a woman came over and stood right at us, watching us talk. Kristen finally asked if she needed something. The woman pointed at me and said, "Yeah, we need to get into a dressing room." I, dressed in all black, said, "I don't work here." She said, "Ha, funny. We really do need to get into a dressing room." I said, "No, seriously, I don't work here. Go find a Walmart employee." She started swearing at me and told me to do my job. I said, "Look, lady, for the third time, I don't work for Walmart." She swore at me some more and said it was ridiculous how the employees don't want to work. My friend jumped in and said, "She told you 3 times that she doesn't work here. Are you having a stroke that you don't understand plain English?" This woman, still insisting I was lazy, called me a few names as she turned to find a manager. I just said, "Don't get mad at me because you're too dumb to see my shirt doesn't say Walmart, and I've told you 3 times I don't work here." I would bet she told her friends that a Walmart employee refused to help her. Another time, as I was walking through, I heard a woman say, "There's someone, let's ask them," as she followed me saying, "Excuse me, I just kept walking." Finally, she ran up on me and said, "We have been trying to get your attention and you just keep ignoring us. We need help." I told her I didn't work there. She said, "So that Walmart on your shirt doesn't mean nothing?" I pointed to it and said, "Does that really look like it says Walmart?" She immediately looked embarrassed, said, "Oh," and turned to walk the other way. I just said, "That's right, don't apologize." Another one that popped in my head was for Sam's Club, still owned by Walmart, at one of their new, smaller self-checkouts. It was roped off and the register closed sign up while I worked on it. It was Christmas time and lines were full. Someone started, "Are you going to open up?" and "Hey," over and over. I was busy reinstalling the software, so not really paying attention until some guy walked over and said, "I think she's yelling at you." I looked up and said, "I don't work here. I'm repairing this unit." She screamed, "Well, screw you. You could have said something earlier while I was making a fool of myself, yelling at you." I just said, "Pretty sure that's not my fault." She kept on with the obscenities until another customer told her to shut up. Then, the guy who'd come over to me said, "Merry Christmas, everyone." Everyone but the jagoff laughed, and I probably have a couple hundred stories similar to these. Many times I'd have a register in pieces on the belt, with a "This line is closed" sign on the back of the belt, and someone would still put their items on the belt, waiting to be checked out. I stopped saying "this register is closed" to be nice because I'd still get snapped at for letting them put their items on the belt, ignoring the "this line is closed" sign. Another day, another person who definitely doesn't work at Walmart. Cuckles, it's a wonder what people will assume, isn't it? Thanks for sharing that laugh with me. As one insightful commenter, you/fitdiscount3135, pointed out, the irony here is quite profound. I used to be a Wally World manager. I feel for you. The number of times a customer complained to me that one of my workers was refusing to work was ridiculous. Invariably, they pointed at someone wearing a Pepsi logo, Frito-Lay's, NCR. Whatever the local tobacco vendor was. It was so dumb. Even had one customer complain that the Loomis delivery driver wouldn't open a register. Loomis delivered cash and had guns on their hips. How do you miss that? And there was still a small number wouldn't believe me that they were not Wally World workers. Some people are just denser than a Christmas fruitcake. Continuing our journey through the wonders of everyday life, here is the next found lore from r/IDontWorkHereLady, summited by you/Beautiful14.
I've been a devout Aldi shopper for a very significant portion of my life, way before it became in vogue. I used to have free reign of the Isle of Shame without worrying about showing up early the day of a release. Almost all my kitchen stuff, underwear, garden equipment, pet supplies, whatever. I get everything from Aldi. Anyway, on to the main point. For some context, I'm 6'1" and average around 168 pounds, depending on where I'm at in my cycling regimen. So I'm kind of tall and skinny with an athletic build. I used to play football at a high level in my younger years. This allows me to get away with wearing my skinny, tight-rolled jeans and small, usually video game-related or bright pink, my favorite color, t-shirts. I generally have on some sort of fashion high top and crazy socks that show it's a cycling thing. And then during the cooler months I wear a leather jacket. Sometimes I'll wear some sort of slacks and a button-down, but generally I'm dressed pretty casually. And I'm always listening to podcasts with my earbuds, especially out in public shopping. Also, when my hair is long, like now, I can pony it up and I wear a backwards hat almost all the time. When it's short, I'm hat-free. So this is me at Aldi shopping. Nothing about me says I'm working. I'm just some dude in his 30s, dressed like a child minding his own business, listening to a fantasy football podcast, buying a tea kettle or contemplating if I need a 15th cutting board. When an old person walks up to me and asks me where something is, I usually pretend not to hear them, but they always ask again. This happens so often to me that I have a scripted sequence. I slowly turn my head to look at them with a bewildered look on my face, take out one AirPod, hold my hands up, and very deliberately look around. Then look at myself and what I'm wearing, look back at them and ask, perplexed, "Why are you asking me?" Then it's usually something like this, questioning. "Because you work here?" Disbelieving. "I do." Exasperated. "Lady, I'm in normal clothes. Just like you. Doing my shopping." Sometimes they get hostile and huffy. Sometimes they laugh. Sometimes they get embarrassed, rare. But every single time, no matter how many times it happens, I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what vibe I'm sending off to make these random lunatics think I'm working. And it's only at Aldi. I've never had it happen anywhere else, and it happens to me there every couple months for over a decade. Frustrated. It's total insanity. Incidentally, I know where every single thing is in the store and actually could help them, but I don't, and it's not my job to do so because, matter of fact, you know, I don't work here, lady. Reassuring, also, I have actually helped a handful of them. Especially if they get embarrassed and start laughing, apologize, and take the interaction well. I'll generally laugh with them and say, "No, it's okay. I don't work here, but I actually do know where what you're looking for is. It's over there." That was long and rambly, but for a long time I thought I was the only one, so I found this sub to be enjoyable. Thanks for reading if you made it this far. If this lore sparked a smile or a moment of wonder within you, a gentle like on this video would be greatly appreciated. It helps more curious minds discover our collection. Speaking of unexpected roles, our next found lore takes us into the world of mistaken identity once more, but with a delightful twist of poetic justice. This tale, aptly titled, "Sometimes You Leave It to Karma, Sometimes You Are the Karma," is shared by the keen observer, you/JupiterSkyFalls. Our storyteller recounts the rather common experience of being mistaken for an employee, even while wearing a uniform for an entirely different profession. It's a wonderfully relatable predicament, wouldn't you agree? Let's listen as the tale unfolds.
When I worked as a server in fine dining, we had to wear a vest, bistro apron, and tie. Even women, which I am one. Sometimes after a really busy shift or just a long double, I'd need to stop by the grocery store or somewhere, but I was too tired to go home and change, and I just kept my uniform on while I made my stops. At Walmart, CVS, Publix, Kroger, Target, Dollar Tree, like really? Aldi, Costco, and once in the lobby of a Little Caesars, I was constantly mistaken for an employee or manager. I have never once seen an employee or even GM of those stores in a vest and tie, let alone an apron. People would come up to me all the time, thinking I worked for the store we were in. I was amused at first, but I honestly got sick of it quickly. I hate being rude though, so if people came up and asked me where something was and I knew the answer, I'd tell them or say, "Sorry, I don't work here." But so many times people would approach me, after having busted tail at work, just tired and wanting to grab what I needed for a meal and go home, with an unbelievable amount of entitlement, audacity, and rudeness. I stopped trying to argue with these people and started sending them to the opposite end of the store from what they wanted, or promising to go check in the back and leave them standing there, telling them that item was out of stock or had been recalled, or any other random acts of mischief I concocted for my amusement. Once a woman got a manager and came hunting through the store to track me down, demanding angrily that I be fired. Watching the manager tell her I wasn't an employee was amazing. The emotional roller coaster that rode over her face was hilarious. He asked her why she thought I was, and she said I told her the item was reserved, but another employee told her that wasn't a thing. I shrugged and said, "Welp, you never asked if I worked here, sorry," and dipped. If you were nice and not a Mr. McNugget, I'd help you if I could. But talking down, being verbally abusive to people just doing their jobs is ridiculous, and I wish more people spoke up when they see it. Add-on, for any wondering why I didn't just take my vest and/or apron off. I'm well endowed, and the shirts that fit me best in the arms and shoulders, couldn't have sleeves too long, were pretty tight across the chest. My vest and tie hid the fact that I had a good bit of my bra and cleavage visible otherwise. Changing in the car wasn't something I wanted to do, and going home first meant double the time. I wouldn't care nowadays, but I was young and shy then. If you made it this far, let me know if these stories brought a moment of joy or curiosity to your day. Tell me, what kind of laws do you find most captivating? Your comments help me to better understand what truly enchants you. Our next found lore takes us into the world of mistaken identity once more. This tale, aptly titled, "Entitled Woman Thinks I Work at Dollar General," gets shut down by store manager, is shared by an anonymous storyteller, and promises a most satisfying conclusion. It truly highlights the difference a good manager and a keen eye for justice can make. Let's see how this unfolds. For context, this captivating story took place 3 days before Christmas in 2020. Our storyteller was simply shopping for some sweet, sugary treats. The cast for this particular lore includes our narrator, OP, an entitled woman, whom we shall call Karen, and Carl, the store manager, a name of course chosen for this narration. It was merely 3 minutes past opening, and our storyteller was one of the first customers in the store. A perfect scenario, they thought, to get in, secure their purchases, and depart before any of the bob cut, "I want to talk to your manager, I want him fired," self-entitled individuals made their grand entrance. Unfortunately, that peaceful morning was not meant to be. 3 minutes after our storyteller walked in, this unpleasant individual arrived. Karen abruptly grasped our storyteller's arm. "Karen, excuse me, I need your help. You should be helping customers with their shopping this close to Christmas." Our storyteller, attempting to gently brush Karen's hand away, responded with calm clarity. "OP, I do not work here, ma'am. I am trying to get some shopping done. I, like you, am a customer." Now, an important note here, to paint a clear picture for us. Dollar General employees typically wear a black polo shirt, complete with the company logo. They also sport a yellow name tag, bearing the company name and their own name, on a white sticker. Their attire also includes black or khaki dress slacks and tennis shoes. Our storyteller, on the other hand, was wearing a hoodie with their high school name on it, comfortable pajama bottoms, and tennis shoes, so quite clearly nothing at all resembling an employee uniform. It's truly fascinating, isn't it, how perceptions can sometimes be so misguided? Karen, undeterred, now spun our storyteller around. Karen, I said I need your help. Stop touching product and do your job. Customers come first. Our storyteller, now utterly incensed, emphasized their point. OP, I said I don't work here. I am a customer, just like you. I am not wearing their uniform. Karen, astonishingly, refused to believe our storyteller. Karen, you are lying. You are covering your uniform so you can ignore the customers that pay your wage. Our storyteller, with a dramatic flourish, removed their hooded sweatshirt. And for another important detail, beneath the hoodie, they were wearing a white Cleveland Cavaliers jersey from the Mark Price era. Indeed, it was a Mark Price jersey, acquired just in 2019. OP. Do I look like I'm wearing the uniform? I am quite clearly wearing the jersey of my favorite Cavaliers player of all time. And even if I did work here, I would not assist you on my day off. And if I was on the clock, I would not help you after you treated me like garbage. Karen, obviously insulted by this unwavering truth, declared her intentions. Karen, I'm going to get your manager and have him fire you for refusing to help a customer. She stomped away, and our storyteller, with a renewed sense of purpose, began to swiftly gather their purchases. Approximately 5 minutes later, Karen returned, with Carl in tow. Now, an important note, dear listeners. Carl, the manager, was a friend of our storyteller. They had known each other since our storyteller was 5 and Carl was 8. A truly fortunate connection, wouldn't you agree? Karen, this employee refused to help me. He was rude about refusing to help me 3 days before Christmas. He would rather buy his diabetes-inducing treats than help a loyal customer. Carl, with unwavering conviction, responded to Karen. Carl, I have known OP for 31 years. He has never been rude to anyone. He worked in restaurants for, close to, 10 years. He was never rude to a customer. You, on the other hand, I have never seen before. OP is not an employee here. He, unlike you, is a regular customer. And now he, unlike you, is shopping here. You are to leave, now. Karen, utterly refusing to comply, turned to begin shopping. Karen, I will just leave him alone and buy what I came for. If you want to keep your job, you will let me buy what I need to buy. This store is the only store within 5 minutes of my house that has this product currently in stock. Carl, calmly grabbing his cell phone, delivered his final decisive words. Carl, I said, leave, now. If I press send, you will be arrested on loitering, and I will have you trespassed. The Karen, finally understanding the gravity of the situation, departed. Our storyteller finished their shopping triumphantly. They went home with a case of Dr. Pepper, 2 boxes of Twinkies, 3 personal-sized cups of Toll House ice cream, and 3 bags of Hershey's assorted miniatures. And Karen? Well, because of her utterly unreasonable attitude, she ended up not getting whatever she was shopping for. A true testament to the power of a good friend and a strong store manager, wouldn't you say? Thank you, Carl. And finally, an important note from our storyteller. All dialogue is written as they best remember it. What a satisfying lore that was. It's truly great to see common sense win out over rudeness, especially with Carl's help. This story just shows that being kind and respectful brings good things, while being difficult often leaves you with nothing. Become a part of our growing family of found laws enthusiasts. Simply press the subscribe button and join us on our continuous quest to find and share the most captivating real-life narratives. And that concludes our collection of found laws for today. I'm Loren, and it was a pleasure sharing these stories with you. If you enjoyed our time together, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more. Until next time,
Keep finding the good in every day.